shocking viewers as he confessed to terrible things he had just done to his girlfriend and her family. The video quickly spread, grabbing the attention of friends, family, and even the authorities.
On my soul, bro. On my soul, dude. Like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt like a motherfucker, dude. I'm hurt.
You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
So we're going to listen to this case, guys. Domestic abuse. It's real. It's real, guys. Unfortunately, it's real.
So you see me, I got shot 11 times by someone I loved and someone I shared a child with.
She got shot at 11 times by somebody who claims he loves her and somebody she had a child with. Who does that?
He hit me 11 times. That's how many times he hit me. This doesn't count the bullet holes on my car. I believe he was trying to kill me and leave no witnesses.
Is it coming out?
He started. He shot her, shot
Lower
my brother,
and
my sister was running, so he shot my sister.
And you know what?
This guy is crazy. He is nuts. Anybody who would stay in a relationship like this, the end result, guys, it's never good. You got to get out. Find a way out.
But
Then he shoots in the car again at her.
yeah, and then
Because his car was rolling and he had to get
They
in.
got video footage. This fool.
that's the only way he drive away because the car start driving himself.
On February 21, 2021, a man appeared on Facebook Live,
He's on Facebook Live admitting this crap.
shocking viewers as he confessed to terrible things he had just done to his girlfriend and her family. The video quickly spread, grabbing the attention of friends, family, and even the authorities.
On my soul, bro. On my soul, dude. Like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt like a motherfucker, dude. I'm hurt like a
You killed her and you hurt. How does that work? How does that work? Somebody tell me, please.
motherfucker, dude, because I can't even believe I just did, and I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, yo. I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, dude. I just lost it. I just lost it, bro.
This man is Larry, who was engulfed in panic after he unleashed an entire clip of bullets on his girlfriend, Lasonya Agee, the mother of his child, along with her grandmother and uncle.
So he not only attacked the girlfriend, he attacked her family members as well. This guy is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
What makes this confession even more disturbing is Larry's repeated claims of love for Lasonya.
I love that, yo. That's the part about it, bro. I love that woman dearly, bro. I love her dearly, bro.
This leads to a haunting question. How could someone who professes to love so deeply inflict such horrific harm on her and her family? The reasons
Exactly.
behind this tragic incident are chilling, and we will soon reveal them. Lasonya's story is one that will make you reconsider whom you place your trust in. The Windy City, known as Chicago, is famous for its beautiful skyline, delicious deep dish pizza, and vibrant history. Home to nearly 3 million people, this city is filled with stories, some that lift us up and others that bring sadness. Among these stories is that of Lasonya Agee, a devoted mother to a young son. Despite facing incredible pain and heartbreak, she showed amazing strength that touches everyone who hears about her. Lasonya
Beautiful young girl. A beautiful young girl. And she has a baby by this guy. And now this child is going to be without a mother and a father.
a better future for her son, she launched a side business selling cosmetics online to boost her income. A Proviso East High School graduate, she was known for her determination and talent. Lasonya Agee seemed to lead a joyful life as a loving mother and a dedicated partner. While everything looked good on the surface, she was actually experiencing a nightmare behind closed doors. She was involved with a man named Larry who treated her harshly, both in mind and body. In 2017, they welcomed a son and life appeared to be on track.
I just hate that they brought a child into this relationship, guys. Children are innocent, and this is horrible. This is really horrible.
However, shortly after their baby arrived, their relationship began to crumble. Minor arguments about everyday issues escalated into major conflicts, which eventually led to more serious problems. They struggled to find common ground, and the tension grew, affecting their lives significantly. Friends and family noticed the change and became concerned about the well-being of everyone involved. Despite attempts to reconcile and mend their relationship, the couple found it increasingly difficult to overcome the challenges they faced together. Initially, she chose to stay with him because she loved him and had created a family together.
Guys, what kind of love is this? He's physically putting his hands on you, shooting at your car, your grandmother. What kind of love is that?
She believed that their problems were temporary and that things would improve over time. Sadly, the abuse only escalated, causing her to feel trapped. Each passing day was harder than the last, and her hope began to fade. Friends urged her to reconsider her situation, but she felt too afraid to leave. Despite her longing for a happier life, the cycle of hurt continued. As the pain grew, she realized she had to find a way to break free for the sake of herself and her child.
So I'm glad she realized you're dealing with a nut. You need to get out of that situation because you don't want, especially you don't want your son to follow in his father's footsteps.
It was a tough situation for her. Lasonya didn't have many friends to rely on. After losing her mother when she was young, her family support was weak. She often felt stuck, scared, and isolated. Still, she understood that she needed to escape for her own sake and for her son's future. While quietly researching local help organizations and saving money, Lasonya finally gathered the strength to make a courageous choice that could change their lives for the better. She took action.
So I'm glad she's taking action to get out of this situation. And she's doing it quietly due to the fact she doesn't have a whole lot of friends. It cannot get back to this crazy dude that she's dating.
Each step, ensuring that they would have a fresh start in silence, but things didn't turn out as well as she had wished. Somehow, Larry discovered her new address. He disregarded the restraining order and barged into her apartment. When he arrived, Lasonya called the police, who responded quickly. Unfortunately, he escaped before they could take him into custody. Lasonya thought she had finally escaped him for good. She was hopeful that the police would find him soon so she could begin her new life in peace. Instead, fear crept back into her mind as she realized the danger was still close, since Lurie had discovered the address and she was correct, considering what happened the next day.
Guys, that fear gotta be real. It has to be real. And I feel so sorry for any woman dealing with something like this. I know it has to be real.
Lasonya had spent a day at her job. Upon returning home, she was shocked to find Larry waiting for her. He had been hiding in her utility closet, and to her horror, he was holding a gun. Her grandmother was there too. She was in the same house with Larry hiding the whole day. He threatened them both, filled with anger. His fury wasn't just about her leaving him. It was also because she had signed the lease for the new place without his approval. In a violent rage,
Without his approval? What? This dude is on the slow bus. Why does she need his approval to get her own place?
he wrecked her apartment, smashing windows and causing so
Hater.
much destruction that her landlord said she had no choice but to move out. Lasonya knew she had to act quickly to protect her family and find a way out of this nightmare. Once again, Lasonya felt lost with no place to turn. Feeling hopeless, she went back to Larry, believing it was her only option. Unfortunately, life with him quickly became more difficult and painful.
So she tried to break free of this fool. She really tried. She did it the right way. She tried to get away in silence, not telling everybody, not all on social media saying what she's going to do, not sharing her escape strategy with everybody. But it failed. Unfortunately, it failed.
Each day felt heavier, filled with hurt and regret again. She started to gather her thoughts, planning for the day to escape for the second time, but Lurie got know about it. Then, violence and abuse increased in both frequency and severity. Lasonya got noticeable injuries, such as black eyes, and went to the police many times to file reports. With no help for the police, she reached out to her family. During this period, Larry's threats expanded to include her family members. Lasonya cared deeply for her family and felt she had to silently endure his abuse to keep them safe. She believed that if she remained with Larry, he would leave her loved ones unharmed. This painful...
That's a shame. That's a shame. She thought that if she stayed with him, he wouldn't mess with her family. And nothing was furthest from the truth. This guy is crazy.
Wrath, but Larry was not getting any better. One day, Lasonya finally managed to save enough money to buy a car, thinking it would help her drive away at any time of the day whenever things got worse. Sadly, Larry ruined that hope as well. He drove the car into a garage, causing serious damage that...
This guy's a hater. Anything positive she tries to do, he is there to make it negative. He's a hater.
It could not be driven again. This made it difficult for her to go anywhere, and he used it to control her movements since she could no longer drive. Each time she looked at the broken car, her heart sank, feeling trapped and powerless. The weight of everything began to wear Lasonya down. She found it hard to concentrate on her job. As a result, she started missing shifts, both because of her injuries and due to the overwhelming emotional strain. Each day felt heavier, making it difficult to get out of bed and face the world. Lasonya worked...
Yeah, I bet you she was embarrassed. You got a black eye, a busted lip. You know, people are going to say, hey, what's going on with you at home that you looking like that? So she is between a rock and a hard place.
This support made Lasonya feel less isolated and provided her with some comfort. Knowing she had people who cared made a big difference in her day. She was given the chance to move to a safer place by the Postal Service, filling her with hope for a better life. But Lasonya started living better and saving some money. Again, she bought another car, keeping it hidden this time. Unfortunately, she made one mistake. She took pictures of the car and saved them on her phone. One day, Larry found those photos. When he confronted her, he exploded with anger.
You know, I thought they were going to say she put it on social media, but she just took the pictures of the car on her phone. She was proud. And then this nut found the pictures on her cell phone.
In a wild fit of rage, he promised to destroy it too.
He's crazy.
He discovered it and drove it into a pole, smashing its windows. After this incident, Lasonya was over it. She told Larry she wanted to leave immediately. His reaction was even more shocking. He took their son and disappeared. Larry used their child as a weapon to manipulate her, making it clear that she couldn't escape him no matter what she tried.
Now he's playing a dangerous game with the child. There is no need to involve the child with all this drama.
Her son back, Lasonya turned to the police for help once again, but they told her this was a custody issue and not something they could resolve. Since Larry was the boy's father and not a stranger, the situation became even more complicated. The lack of support from law enforcement left her feeling frustrated and alone in her fight. Still, Lasonya didn't give up. Seeking legal help, Lasonya managed to obtain another restraining order against Larry. She hoped this would finally compel him to leave her and her son alone. However, even with the restraining order in place, Larry continued his threats. According to Lasonya, he told her, "You won't see your son again until you come back to me." Feeling trapped, Lasonya filed a police report, but the officers repeated the same response.
This guy has low self-esteem. He is endangering this girl and endangering his son, all because he's got a screw loose.
This needed to be resolved in court. Frustrated but determined, she began researching her options and reaching out to support groups, hoping to connect with people who could help her fight for her son's safety and well-being. She went back to work, determined to save money and create a safe future for herself and her son, hoping to bring him home from Larry. But just when things started to look better, her job took a sudden turn. One day, her supervisor called her into the office and told her she was being fired. Lasonya felt crushed. Her supervisor said a customer had complained, saying she had thrown away mail, including important documents like her son's birth certificate.
Oh, guys, can it get any worse? Can it get any worse? Now, she doesn't have her son. She's trying to get her son back. And now she's about to get fired from her job.
Lasonya knew the claim was false, but she couldn't prove she hadn't done anything wrong. Later, she realized that it was Larry who had set her up to lose her job. another way to keep her under his control.
A hater.
Even after all of that, she kept pushing herself to move forward. She looked for a new apartment and worked on fixing her car. One day, she found an ad for an apartment that looked perfect for her. Even though she felt uneasy about it, she decided to visit. When she got there, she was shocked to find out that Larry had created the fake ad to trap her. He was waiting for her and pleaded for her to return. When begging did
This guy, he will not stop at anything to destroy her. That's obvious.
more unpredictable, making Lasonya feel anxious all the time. Then, on February 14th, 2021, Valentine's Day, something happened that changed her life completely. She had hoped for a peaceful day, but instead, she faced a shocking event that would turn everything upside down. She got into her car, planning to drive somewhere, when she heard a strange noise from the back of the vehicle.
Okay, what is going on in the back of the vehicle? What's going on? Is Larry back there hiding? What, this guy is off the chain. He needs to be on medication big time.
She stopped the car to check and was shocked to see Larry there. He had hidden in her trunk and waited for her to get inside. To make things worse, he had left a nice-looking Valentine's gift on the back seat, as if it was some creepy way of showing love. Lasonya realized she couldn't stay at home anymore. Fear filled her heart, and she knew she had to find a way to escape once and for all. Her mind raced with thoughts of where to go next and how to keep herself and her child safe. She started staying in different hotels, trying hard to keep her family safe from Larry. She knew he was getting more violent and was afraid he might hurt someone she loved. Unfortunately,
This guy is causing undue stress in this girl's life and in this child's life too. This is horrible.
everything changed. Security cameras recorded a shocking event that startled everyone who saw it. It was disturbing and left people in disbelief of what Larry did. Lasonya Agee had just returned home to the 7,800 block of South Muskegon in Chicago after a long day at work on February 21, 2021. She parked her car and was still sitting inside when another car pulled up beside hers. It was Larry. He was someone she once trusted, the father of her child, but now he was the source of her worst nightmares. Seeing him there filled her with fear and anxiety. She thought about all the times she had tried to escape from him and how he had hurt her. Larry talked to her through the car window, attempting to convince her to come back to him. He urged her to get into his car, but she declined. Lasonya remained resolute, insisting that he go away. However, Larry was not prepared to back down. Her uncle was close by, standing between their cars and noticing the rising tension. Suddenly, Larry exited his vehicle, drew a gun, and pointed it at her uncle. Without a moment's hesitation, he shot. Her uncle fell to the ground, injured.
Okay, this guy is nutty. You could tell from the video footage that this is an older gentleman. He's just standing there making sure that his niece is okay. And then this idiot gets out of his car and shoots this elderly man. This guy he's crazy.
Sonia was flooded with fear. She attempted to flee toward her home, but Larry pointed the gun at her and began shooting. She was hit and collapsed to the ground. Her grandmother, who was nearby, also fell victim to his attack. But Larry didn't stop there. He turned his attention to Lasonia's car, where their young son was seated, and fired multiple rounds into the vehicle.
All right. This no words can explain what a nut we're dealing with. He killed her uncle. Well, he shot at her uncle. He shot at her, hit the uncle, hit the grandmother, turned to the car where his own child was sitting and opened fire on the car. Nobody is safe with this fool.
He emptied the whole clip, with bullets whizzing through the air and causing chaos all around them. Neighbors were drawn in by the sound of gunshots, gathering together and calling for help. Realizing what he had done, Larry fled the scene. However, instead of going into hiding, he did something completely unexpected. He went live on Facebook. In the video, his actions revealed his frustration as Larry vented about the situation and his relationship with Lasonya. His words were filled with anger and regret.
You did that to your own child. Nobody is safe. This guy has to get off the streets. Has to get off the street. Nobody is safe with this fool.
He stressed that there was no turning back from what he had done.
On my soul, bro. On my soul, yo. Like, I'm hurt. I'm hurt like a motherfucker, G. I'm hurt like a motherfucker because I can't even believe I just did. And I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, yo. I don't even know what just pushed me to snap like that, G. I just lost it. I just lost it, bro.
He informed his viewers that he had been under immense pressure and that he ultimately snapped. He confessed he didn't know what made him do it, but he was worn out from running away from everything. He let them know that he realized the police would be coming for him and that he believed it was the end of the road for him.
Man, look, ain't no more. Motherfuckers ain't gonna see me no more, G. I ain't running. I've been on a run over a year and a half. I'm not running from these people no more, bro. It's over with. My soul, this is my last water. It's over with, bro. It's over with, man.
It need to be your last water because something is obviously wrong with you. You got issues, brother.
As he spoke, a mix of sadness and anger came through, revealing the turmoil inside. At the scene, Lasonya and her family were quickly taken to the hospital in critical condition. The bullets had hit her 11 times, but incredibly, none of the shots impacted vital organs. Most of her injuries were concentrated on the lower part of her body, with her pelvis and right leg suffering the most damage. Her liver was also significantly injured. Despite the severe trauma, she remained alive and thankful to have pulled through. Lasonya's grandmother and uncle also managed to survive. Her uncle had 8 bullet wounds, yet remarkably, he endured. The attack left lasting scars on them, not only on their bodies, but also on their minds. The pain and fear from that horrific...
That was nothing but God. That was nothing but God. She survived. The uncle survived, and so did the grandmother. So he opened fired on the car his son was sitting in. Let's see what happens.
Day would haunt them for a lifetime and affect their daily lives. Meanwhile, the police swiftly identified Larry as the main suspect in the case. As they gathered evidence and testimonies, the investigation began to unfold, revealing more details about what had occurred. The community waited anxiously for justice. Neighbors also stepped up, recounting what they had witnessed. There was no doubt about who had carried out this terrible act. Larry, the father of Lasonya's child and her former abusive partner, was the one responsible. When reporters later interviewed Lasonya, she shared the frightening details of that day. She expressed her astonishment at having survived being shot 11 times.
He hit me 11 times. That's how many times he hit me. This doesn't count the bullet holes on my car.
She felt grateful to have made it through this horrifying ordeal, reflecting on the tragedy that unfolded. Lasonya also added that Larry had specifically aimed for her family members because he wanted to eliminate any witnesses to his wrongdoing.
I believe he was trying to me and leave no witnesses.
His actions were not merely an assault, they were a calculated effort to silence everyone around her. In spite of all this, Lasonya survived, along with her family. However, the emotional wounds ran deep, and the trauma would be something they carried with them for the rest of their lives. Each family member would face their own struggles as they sought to heal from the nightmare they had endured. At the time of the assault, Larry was still evading capture.
That's nothing but God. Everybody survived. Everybody survived. So let's see what happens with this crazy dude.
This left Lasonya in a state of constant anxiety. She feared that he might come back to complete what he had begun. Eventually, law enforcement was able to locate Larry. Surrendering without resistance, Larry was taken into custody after weeks of being on the run. He was discovered in Louisiana, hiding in an apartment on Mary Jane Street in Mansoura. Following his arrest, he was transported back to Chicago, where he was confronted with charges related to his crimes. Authorities filed 3 counts of attempted murder against him.
I'm glad they caught him. Okay, because this guy, he cannot be trusted in society. So I am glad they caught him.
Along with 3 counts of aggravated battery. Lasonya set up a GoFundMe page to request assistance in restoring her life. This represented a major turning point. Although she was still in the process of healing from the attack, she realized that Larry's arrest meant she could finally start to recover. In her appeal, she conveyed her appreciation for having made it through the traumatic experience. She described the difficulties of leaving an abusive relationship. While many people assume it's easy, she emphasized that it almost cost her life.
I'm so happy for her. Really am. That a negative for her finally turned out to a positive. Let's see what happened with this GoFundMe.
GoFundMe page quickly received backing, raising over $11,500 to assist her in starting anew. The incident left an indelible impact on Lasonya's life. She had been betrayed by someone she once trusted, someone she loved and had a family with. However, she remained hopeful that her story would motivate others to seek assistance and escape abusive circumstances before it was too late.
It's not worth it. You see me, I got shot 11 times by someone I loved and someone I shared a child with.
Lasonya believed that by sharing her experience, she could shine a light on the issue, encouraging others to recognize the signs of abuse. This case also brought forward concerns regarding the involvement of law enforcement. Lasonya had submitted several reports about Larry's behavior, yet no significant measures were taken until after the shooting occurred.
That's sad. That's sad, because that girl and her family and her son could be dead today. Could be dead today because the police didn't do what they were supposed to do.
Many wondered why her previous complaints had not led to intervention, prompting discussions about the effectiveness of police responses in domestic abuse situations. Many questioned how differently the situation might have turned out if someone had intervened before it escalated to violence.
You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.